What is up, guys? Freedom1 here. Welcome to my live review for Detective Conan episode 895, the Tokyo Style Detective Show Part 2. Let's do this. Alright guys, so as we know from my review last week, this is canon material, and to let you guys know about next week to get that, because I'm freaking excited about it. It is canon material next week, and we got Rumi Sensei. Oh yes, one of my favorite characters. She is back. Wakasa Rumi. Oh my god, the greatness is coming, guys. I cannot wait. I'm super excited. I know you guys are. Whoo! It's going to be a great episode next week. Anyway, looking forward to next week. We know what's coming. We know Rumi Sensei is coming. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. Let's get to this week's episode. This week's episode was a pretty solid episode. We had Wakita, a potential rum suspect. Basically, as we found out last week, he challenged Morty to a detective match to find the thief. Alright, the person who stole the winning 1 million yen ticket. We basically get clues, and one of the biggest clues was Conan's hint at the end of last week's show. With that show, you could pretty much pick out who it was going to be. It came down to the two guys. The guy with the ginger and the guy with the radishes, because both of them have this protein in it which allows you to remove blood. You know, it allows it to remove, but with the ginger it would leave a stain. With the radish, you're able to do it in such a way that it doesn't leave a stain. So Wakita came up with his theory that it was the younger guy. He was the one behind it because he's the only one we actually ever saw go in to the bathroom. Right? We never saw the older guy go in. So we're assuming that all happened off screen and stuff like that. So the woman pretty much gets ruled out very, very quickly if you take into consideration the Conan hint. So she gets ruled out pretty quickly. So it comes down to the two guys, right? And obviously, as we now know, the guy behind it is the bespectacled guy, the older guy. And the main reason is that why he stole it was financially, he was struggling, he was in debt, courtesy of his wife, because his wife came from a very rich family, and her spending habits didn't really change when she married him, because she didn't want anything from her parents. So, you know, we also find out that's the main reason why he gave into temptation. He was on the train, and the thing that really kind of gives him away was towards the end where Conan puts Morty to sleep, and he basically confronts him saying, look, I know you did it. You've already pretty much confessed to it. He goes, but I took the bus, you know, because I don't like full trains. He goes, no, you were on the train. Like, he goes, but I said I don't like full trains, and she was on a full train. That pretty much gave it away, right? So, oh, but I thought you said you don't like full trains. How did you know that she was on a full train? There are also empty trains, you know what I mean? So the reasoning for him taking the bus is kind of weird. Now, he could have just waited till a later time and taken an emptier train, or gone earlier for an emptier train. So eventually he does come clean. He hands the ticket back to her and he says, look, I've never even bought a ticket in my life, so I didn't even know how to cash it. You know, he hands it back to her. Eventually he walks off voluntarily with the police, having stolen property. So, like I said, pretty much the stuff that gave him away was his own story. The whole thing about the bus and the radishes, you know, that kind of gave him away because of the meal he ordered. It was a place he had been to quite often, you know, and it's one of those things like, all right, He couldn't be the guy in the red jacket. Yet he had the ginger and everything that would be able to do that. And Wakita was on the general track, the right track of figuring out who it was. He just, there was one or two things he didn't really know, right? And I like how Conan set it up by basically saying, well, the main reason why I didn't do anything at first is because I wanted to see what you could do, right? Just to see, I was playing dumb, basically, just to see how you were going to do it. So I like the fact that in the end, Conan does solve the case. The guy confesses and ends up going off for stealing. And then the funny part, right at the end, we go Ran, basically forcing Morty to go into a police station to hand over the 1 million yen ticket that he accidentally picked up in the beginning of last week's episode. So he's like, but no one's going to claim. Yeah, do it! And she's just like, bleh. It's like, but no, do it! So I love how Ran is just, she's so tough on him. She literally takes no shit. I do like Ran. So this was a fairly solid episode. Animation-wise, not bad. Like, I didn't see, there was a couple of little still images and that within it, but there wasn't anything big going down. So, but like not many. Not that I noticed, like, oh wait, this is a still image. I didn't notice them straight away, which means they did it quite well. Obviously, one thing I forgot to mention about Wakita, finally hearing his voice. I actually didn't mind his voice. I quite enjoyed his voice. It was different than how I kind of pictured it. I pictured it to be a bit more gruffy, but that was just my, in my own head. I do like the way they went with him. Just the way his voice, kind of excitable, but like, hey, let's go! Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like how they portrayed him. They portrayed him really well. And I liked it. I like the voice actor did a really good job with him. But next week, guys, next week is going to be hype as all hell because we got Wakasa Rumi coming back. I do remember this case. This is a damn good, interesting case. This is a case that's really going to make you think. I know that for a fact. I just hope that they do it very, very well. Being canon material, Wakasa Rumi's there. Ooh, yeah. It's going to be good. But anyway, guys, overall for this episode, the animation was pretty good. Like, it wasn't horrible or bad or anything, as some episodes can be quite bad. These were fairly solid. Nice animation. Nothing crazy, but also being canon material, I feel like they take a bit more, they put a bit more effort into it, which is solid, which I quite enjoy. So that's why I'm going to give this week's episode of Detective Conan 3.5 stars. Good, solid episode. I enjoyed it, and it was definitely worthwhile. Like, it's a good mystery. And like, originally when I did read this in the manga, I didn't pick up on the radishes. I honestly was going along Wakita's part. I thought it was the young guy. So when I found out it was the older guy, it kind of came as a bit of a surprise to me, as well as this case that's coming up. I didn't actually figure this one out, but I did get a little bit of a hand in figuring it out before we got the solve chapter. So yeah, I do know what's coming up. I do know who's behind it. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys are going to have a lot of trouble figuring this one out, how this all went down and how they pulled it all off. So it's going to be very interesting to see what your comments are in next week's video. But anyway, guys, that is all from me. As always, let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Did you like it? Didn't like it? All that kind of jazz. And as always, guys, smash that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the 40 subscriber mark. And as always, dingle that bell. It will dingle every time I upload a video. And as always, guys, I'm Freno1. You guys are awesome. And I'll catch you guys with another review. Peace.